I'm sorry, but you are the one who's living in a bubble. You are the one who's part of an extremist minority. And the reason why you have this delusion that this is what the vast majority of people think is because it's this small minority of people who shout the loudest. They are the ones that are the keyboard warriors that are typing away online, talking.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Julian Discourse. Have you ever tried pointing out an obvious problem, like a massive leak in your roof, only for someone to look you dead in the eye and tell you it isn't raining? That is exactly how the political left gaslights the public to defend their radical agenda. In this explosive TalkTV clash, watch conservative commentator Chloe Dobbs viciously expose a smug Labour apologist. When confronted with undeniable facts about woke extremism and border failures, he completely panics. Hit subscribe and let's watch their narrative collapse in real time.
It's a minority of the country, unfortunately. It's an extremist minority.
Are you throwing shade on my viewers and listeners, calling them extremists?
Dare, Mark. I wouldn't dare.
James, I'm sorry.
Chloe,
you are the one. So you guys are having a fun head-to-head there, but I'll get involved now. I'm sorry, but you are the one who's living in a bubble. You are the one who's part of an extremist minority. And the reason why you have this delusion that this is what the vast majority of people think is because it's this small minority of people who shout the loudest. They are the ones that are the keyboard warriors that are typing away online, talking about these issues and how we must allow men with penises to be in the women's bathrooms. It's their right. Okay, it's just a tiny minority. If you talk to the majority of people, the silent majority, right, they are going to completely disagree with you. And you've spoken about the BBC. Oh, it's just a few people who have a concern with the BBC. Why are there huge numbers of people cancelling their TV licenses then? That's not just a matter of the fact that people don't watch TV as much anymore. People are doing it in protest, huge numbers, not just a few people screaming and shouting online that are extremists. I'm sorry, but you are the one in a bubble, and I don't blame you for thinking that you are the majority, because it is easy to think that the majority of people think that a woman can have a penis when the people that shout the loudest are the people with this opinion. There are many people who are too scared to voice their opinion, but completely agree with Mark and I.
Well, it is interesting, Chloe, I must say. And, I think you're an incredibly bright, articulate and talented person. But I do despair, and it breaks my heart. I'm saying that with all sincerity, that we've ended up in a situation where somebody like yourself, right, you're a graduate, from Oxford, you're incredibly talented, has ended up on the side of the street opposite to 100 women's and girls charities who say that this nonsense that has been perpetrated by channels like TalkTV, by GB News, by the Mail, the Express, all the usual suspects about migrants, saying that they're a danger to women and girls when they ignore 90% of the violence committed against women and girls committed by white people, in this country. It is just a very, very clear tactic to stoke racial tension.
Is it not Okay, Chloe, do you want to take that?
Shame.
Yeah. Okay, so a few things there. So let me be clear. I am not someone who is of the view that if you stopped illegal migration, that suddenly rapes and sexual assaults would stop, that violence would stop, right? You are right that the majority of people who commit crimes like rape and sexual assault are white Brits, because that is the majority of the population there. But there is a huge proportionality issue, right? And anyone with a few brain cells can understand that. But some people they look at the figures and see, most crimes are committed by white Brits, therefore there's no issue whatsoever with people coming from certain cultures and certain countries. We know that people like Afghans and Eritreans are far more likely to commit rapes and sexual assaults. And the thing is, right, when it is frustrating, and also
this is what the left do. The left tell you it's not happening. This is gaslighting.
You can argue.
It's interesting
you can
how
argue over, this particular stat, I'm not sure about the way that was calculated.
No, it's not. I'm sorry.
Use common sense. If you bring a bunch of men from a culture, Afghanistan, for example, has the worst record, ranked as the worst record in the world for its treatment of women and children. Do you not think if you brought a load of men from that culture that they might have different views about women and consent?
Obsessed again with
than your average Brit?
that we don't understand, Chloe. I mean, this is the problem.
Oh, we don't understand Afghanistan. You think Afghanistan's just like England in how they treat women?
Chloe, what I'm telling you here
is there a difference between how Afghanistan treat women and the UK treat women?
What I'm telling you here, well,
No
absolutely,
answer.
because the Taliban are in charge, of course. What I'm telling you here is, right, that we are facing a real pandemic across the globe, right, of violence against women and girls. It's despicable. And I know you're agreed on that. You know, I know that you understand, as you've said, that it wouldn't stop if you were to stop migration. I understand that. But my concern, Chloe, here is how somebody like you could end up siding with somebody like Donald Trump, Nigel Farage, people who supported and stand by sex offenders and rapists. Donald Trump himself is a rapist.
No, he's
and
not.
Yet you like
he's not a rapist, and he successfully sued a US TV network for calling him that. Can I just ask you briefly, though, James, the issue that people have got is that, yes, we have terrible people in this country. We have, homegrown criminals and rapists and God knows what else, and we must tackle that. Yep. The issue that the public have got is that we're importing people that commit these crimes. And that's why it's an aggravating factor, including people from Afghanistan who, according to the Office for National Statistics, are 21 times more likely to commit a rape than a British national. And you can sleep at night and not address that issue, can you?
Here's the reality, Mark, and I hate to burst the bubble. When I come in here and I come in these echo chambers like TalkTV, like GB News, there's a reason that people are on that circuit and that you all talk the same talk and walk the same walk, and you think the BBC's woke and all the rest of it. You are not the majority view. Look, I'm not on Twitter anymore, and it does you the world of good.
Do you challenge the statistic that Afghan foreign nationals are 21 times more likely to commit a rape?
What I'm telling you,
are you denying that stat?
Mark, I'm making
because that's gaslighting.
Listen, platforms like X, that if you see the evidence that's just been done, Sky News have just done an excellent survey on X, and the amount of right-wing disinformation that you see on a platform like that, people are being shoved videos down their throat that aren't even real, that are AI generated. If you go out there on the streets of this country, you will not see the world that you are describing and the fear that you are mongering amongst the
look, it's all about opinions. I think this is what the left do. They gaslight, they tell you it's not happening, and then when they have to accept that it is happening, they tell you it's for your own good.
What you just witnessed on TalkTV is the exact playbook the political left uses when their ideology collides with reality. Deny, deflect, and gaslight. When Chloe Dobbs cornered that Labour apologist with undeniable facts, his immediate defense was to label the truth as disinformation and accuse conservatives of living in an echo chamber. Let's look at the actual facts. He arrogantly dismissed public concerns over woke extremism as a conspiratorial mind virus. Yet in April 2024, the landmark Cass Review officially exposed the devastating medical reality of the progressive gender agenda being pushed on British children. It proved that what the establishment loudly dismissed as a right-wing talking point was actually a massive, historic, institutional failure. The gaslighting is even more dangerous when it comes to the border. When Chloe cited official statistics regarding the severe disproportionality of sexual violence committed by unvetted migrants from nations like Afghanistan, the left-wing guest literally refused to acknowledge the numbers. He told the audience to go out on the streets and see for themselves. Well, the British public has seen it. Throughout 2024 and 2025, public safety plummeted as the establishment imported tens of thousands of unvetted young men from cultures with zero respect for women's rights, and then ordered the working class to simply absorb the tragic consequences. Think about how incredibly insulting this is. It is like a mechanic setting your car on fire and then calling you a dangerous extremist for complaining about the smoke. The political left refuses to debate the actual statistics because the statistics definitively prove that their open border progressive utopia is actively endangering everyday citizens. They demand your compliance, but what they really want is your complete silence. Thank you for watching Julian Discourse. If you refuse to let the establishment tell you it isn't raining, where they actively flood your house, hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and I'll see you next time.